know, my husband is Korean American. His parents immigrated to the United States in the 1980s. And when they got married, they were given a traditional Korean yo. It's basically a really thick, dense blanket that you sleep on and fold away when you're not using it. His parents actually never used it, but they kept it for all these years. And earlier this year, my husband was really interested in sleeping on it after talking with a coworker who spent some time in Japan and slept on something really similar. So when we went home for my sister's wedding, he asked his mom if we could have it. We're always just really interested in trying new things, and anything that's like more minimal, less clutter in our lives, we're always like interested in trying. So when we got back to New York, we actually then had 3 beds. So we had a queen size mattress style bed, sofa type bed, and then we had the yo. We had all 3 for probably about a month. And then after that month, I think we both felt pretty comfortable on it. So then we decided to sell the mattress bed and the sofa bed. The transition really wasn't that bad. I remember the first night that we slept on it, it really reminded me of, when I was a kid and I would sleep on the floor in a sleeping bag. And I just felt, I think because of that association, it just made me feel really safe and secure. The hardest thing about the transition was actually the pillows. On our mattress style bed, I had a very tall pillow, and I found in the first day or two, I had a little bit of neck discomfort, so I switched to a really flat pillow. And then at some point I moved back to the tall pillow because I've been sleeping on that definitely for the past few months, and I've had no issues whatsoever. One thing that we did do when we moved to the yo was buy a king size super fluffy down comforter. I think that actually made the experience a lot better because we don't really tug or fight over the blanket. And because the yo is on the ground, there's no drop off between where the bed ends and where the floor is. So you can really sprawl out a lot more than you can on a traditional bed that's raised. Alright, so how do we clean the yo? So when we got it from my mother-in-law, she actually made a really nice cover that just slips over the yo and buttons close. We wash that regularly, and then we wash our sheets, pillowcases, blankets once a week or every other week. We also don't wear shoes in our house. Anyone who lives in New York, I would recommend that you don't, because the streets are really dirty, and then we just clean and sweep the floors once a week as well. Never feels dirty or unclean. It's just it actually is a lot easier to keep the space clean because there's no heavy furniture in the way. So I've done a little bit of reading about, how do you have a better night's sleep, and one of those things is having a very structured, bedtime routine. So we've started having wind down hour, where once that starts, turning the lights low, no electronics, and I found that, that really influences how good an amount of sleep that you're going to get. And then also just not using your bed really for anything other than sleep. When we had our mattress bed, that was where after work I would go lounge there, I'd eat on the bed, watch TV, and then sometimes it would be hard to go to sleep because I associated other activities with it. Where now with the yo, it's purely just for sleep. So that was something that was unintentional, but I feel has actually made the sleep better. So I don't really feel it's more comfortable than the bed. It's just a different experience all around. I know some people who switch to a floor style bed have said it's made their back feel a lot better because the surface is so firm. I've never really had any back issues, so I don't think from that perspective I've really noticed any difference. Alright, so where can you get one of these if you want to try it? That's a great question, and unfortunately I feel I don't have a very good answer. I feel probably the best answer would be go to Korea and buy one there, but I know that's not really realistic for most people. I really love the yo, aside from it being very convenient and minimal, but it also almost feels like a piece of work. So it has this beautiful cover that's stitched onto it lightly. And the history of the yo is just really beautiful. I think traditionally women would come together in the community once a year and make these together, and the material is almost like a piece of artwork itself. It looks kind of like a hanbok style, and I think just the love that went into building these just makes it really special. So, obviously that's like not a very great answer, but if you could get one, actually made like that from Korea, I feel like that would be best. I have done some searching to see if you can get them online, and I haven't had much luck. I've only searched in English, so perhaps if you searched in Korean, you could maybe find it. But realistically, I think if you wanted to try this, your best bet would be to search for a Japanese style futon bed, which is very similar in concept, and I found that there's actually a lot of options for those online Googling. Alright, so that is all I have for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you sleep on a traditional Korean yo or a Japanese style futon or any other kind of floor bed like this, I'd love to hear what your experience is and where you got yours, and any other things that you feel like would be helpful for people to share if they're considering doing the same. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of videos about my minimal capsule wardrobe, which is about 80-90 pieces that are all interchangeable. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram for pictures of how I style my wardrobe and our apartment in New York. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.